Hey guys, welcome to week 2. Hope you are doing well. I'm sweaty. That was a fun one. I like today's workout and then a little sauna session afterwards. So this video is covering week 2 for those of you that are there already and underway. Dial on in. I'm just going to go briefly over some of the main points on this sheet. So I am on this side with nutrition, training, and recovery. I'm going to go down to nutrition, training, and recovery. Some I'll skip over, some I'll go in depth. Here we go. I'm really glad to hear that there's many people that are getting a little more awareness about how little water they're taking in. So glad to hear there's some progress. Hey, Rome wasn't built in a day. Neither will your fitness. Just if you're getting a little bit better, great. Hopefully you're getting closer to where you're getting optimally hydrated. It's a great idea. This week, little change for the daily protein goal. For most people, 99% of them, regardless of what your overall nutrition plan is going to be, getting enough protein can sometimes be either really, really important or a stumbling block, or both. So for this week, I wrote in there getting it at dinners, getting it at lunch and dinner, getting it at every meal, getting it at something you come up with on your own. So with that, some of those options, especially with one on your own, just being intentional about it, especially if you looked at last week and you're like, my protein's all over the place, or wow, I really don't eat any protein until dinner, or hey, actually my protein looks really good. Wherever you're at, this just kind of allows you to take maybe one more step further in that journey and making sure that protein is something that's not getting missed, okay? And then similar with the veggies. If that's a big important part of your nutrition plan, similar to the protein, hey, how you doing with it? Pretty simple. That's a great baseline for nutrition. Good luck. Hopefully you're building really good habits with that. As we move to the training section, how many times you're working out this week, signing up for MindBody. Example is a great one today. Someone might have said, hey, I plan to come to the gym today, but I lost power last night. But maybe that means you've got to come to a different class time, or maybe that means, hey, I'm going to do a quick workout at home, or okay, I was going to rest on Thursday, but I guess now because I lost power, maybe I'm going to rest Wednesday or go for a walk or something like that, and instead I'll go to the gym Thursday. But like, hey, hopefully part of this challenge is getting you into the mindset of, we don't just look for excuses to not train. We plan for them. We recognize their benefit, and we make it part of our daily routine, even when things happen that are out of our control, like the crazy windstorm we had last night. Low intensity cardio. I know Annie had made the joke earlier. Taking down the massive tree that fell in her backyard this week will probably be her low intensive steady state cardio. That works. That's great. And then a new one this week, goal for one of the tested workouts from this week that I'll do better at in mid-February, or a goal you have for mid-February. We had a test Monday. We had a test Tuesday. We've got another test coming up this Friday. There's arguably a little bit more skill work in Friday's test. So, what's your goal at? For me, this week, give you a great example. The back squat at the end of the 3x3 on Tuesday's test. I went very, very light percentage-wise. It felt phenomenal. Everything felt good. I just haven't had a ton of weight on my back recently because I didn't have access to big plates. So each week, I'm just sticking to our plan with squats. And in 5 or 6 weeks when we retest, this probably isn't the normal case for a lot of people. Like, I'll double that weight. I'm not going to rush it now. But my goal then is I'm going to get back to numbers I used to squat, and they're going to feel awesome at the end of this cycle. But I'm not rushing it to get there, but I'm writing it down as one of my goals, and I'm super excited for it. Recovery sessions each week. We've got that back in. Brain dumps. If you've finished week 1 and you checked out that podcast, which is the second episode, I think it was March 13th, from the Rewired Life podcast. I noticed obviously a ton more listens last week to that episode, which I can track on our data. How are brain dumps going this week? Is that, a brand new habit for you? Have you done something like that before? Is that something you're like, oh my gosh, this is going to be super helpful and super easy for me to work into my schedule? Great example. Find a time and place that's super consistent each day when you're kind of done with your work, or where you're you need to unplug from what you've just been doing for several hours. And finding a common time, common place, and walking yourself through letting go and checking off all those boxes for the day. For me, that's in my truck when I get in the driveway. I don't open my car door until I've gone through all those boxes, maybe responded to the last email, wrote myself some reminders, dumped everything that I'm processing for the day. If that was a stressful conversation or, I was just a tired day or it was a great day or whatever, I'm going to let it go. I'm going to leave work so that when I go into my house, I can actually be home with my wife and with my kids and be much more present. That's been really helpful, especially, if schedules are changing or, your kids weren't in school today and they were supposed to be because of the storm and you get kind of just out of your rhythm. Brain dumps can be super, super helpful, particularly on days like that with irregular schedules. So hope you're finding those useful. And then turning off screens at night. You might ask, well, what the heck does that have to do with fitness? Actually, more than you think. Letting you de-stress from the day, de-plug from the day, allowing you to hopefully get much better sleep, okay? In that deep level 4 REM cycle sleep that we're talking about. What's that look like for you? This is not something I particularly do very well with. I've had the habit for a very long time of watching screens as I go to bed, but looking at areas where I can have progress with that. So that covers the front side of the sheet. I hope you're finding some really good habits that you're building on week 2. Very brief. This will be short on the back side that I'm looking at. I really just wanted to talk about the bingo section here at the bottom. You'll notice that there's a little blank piece at the end of each of those. As you get towards the end of the week or as you finish up this week 2 sheet, look back and give yourself a 1, a 2, or a 3 on each of those boxes, okay? 1, you didn't get it done. It was inadequate. 2, like it was adequate, good enough. And 3 is like you freaking crushed it. So if you're looking at like daily water goal, inadequate would be like, yeah, I didn't hit my water goal, barely ever, if at all. Adequate would be like, yeah, like I got it, but it was a freaking struggle and I barely made it, or maybe I was off one day. And then a 3, like crushing it, is like, dude, I didn't do great last week. I did awesome this week. I'm really proud of myself. It's like a, pat on the back. Go through those. I love 1s, 2s, and 3s. Again, if you missed it in our first video, I don't like 1 through 10s for stuff like this because everybody puts a 7 and 7 it's vanilla. It doesn't mean anything in this. You got to own it. A 1, I have to improve. A 2, that was good enough. A 3, I'm doing freaking great. Okay. I hope you're finding this helpful as you wrap up week 2. Week 3 sheet it'll be ready Monday. It'll be on the counter. It's Martin Luther King Day on Monday the 18th. We've got a full schedule, no changes there. We'll get those in your hands. Hope you guys are having a great week. Keep crushing it.